Hello, making a video with my baby stuffy dog. He is looking out the window like we look at the internet to see if there are kitties out there. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things in regards to psychology. I want to make this video relaxing, and I always aim towards making my videos relaxing, where you feel so relaxed that you fall asleep, because all of us need more sleep. Really, sleep is the most important thing there is, and that's why I disagree with S.N. Goenka in regards to the Vipassana 10-day course. So the Vipassana 10-day course is really nice. It has helped a lot of people, really. But it would not work for me. I mean, unless it's like death and life situation type of thing, where I don't know, or I'm becoming crazy and I'm already not getting enough sleep. So then that would be a good thing to go to really settle down your thoughts and all of that. And all that is really spot on, about the meditation and the chant by S.N. Goenka, very calming, very soothing, his voice there's only kindness, like I help you calm down, that's in the voice. I don't judge you, I help you calm down. That kind of voice is wonderful. So, but what I don't agree with is that they don't let people sleep during the day, that they don't let people sleep long, that people are only allowed to sleep for 5 hours or 6 hours, and then they have to get up in the middle of the night and do a meditation. I don't agree with that at all. That completely goes against biology. We have to have 9 hours at least. 9 hours, if possible, 9 hours continuously sleeping through. That's the ideal. Most people don't do that. Most people have an overreactive bladder and they have to get up to go to the bathroom. Then most people turn on bright lights while they do it. That's really bad. That's what they do with chickens in factory farms. The chickens don't get to sleep at all, so they die after like a year or two. It's horrific torture, and then people eat the eggs from tortured chickens. It's not good at all. Okay. I completely disagree with that. You have to let a puppy sleep. When a puppy falls over on the floor or couch, please let that puppy dog sleep. Puppies need to sleep a whole lot in order to process information, in order to grow and to function properly in their brains. Okay. The brains need that sleep. Okay. Don't bother the puppy dogs. If you have little children and the puppy is sleeping, you have to really educate your children. And if your children are if your toddlers don't understand that, then you have to bring them into a different room, like at the end of the house or something. And you should have your children in some kind of play enclosure, maybe. Or you should have them in a room, and you have some kind of gate in front of the door. Not close the door, but have a gate in front of, so you can monitor them, but so they can't get out and bother the dogs. Okay, so there are always healthy solutions for every situation. Okay. We need to remember that. That's very, very important to remember. So I moved the couch even closer to the wall now, to the corner, because I also put a disco light in there, and I put my artwork, as you can see there. That is my disco light holder, the blue god, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I have the other lamp now in my room, where I need more light, more bright light. And here it looks really, really relaxing in the corner. So that here, that was a simple shift of materials. Okay. Sometimes all we have to do in our lives is shift things around in order to solve a problem. Sometimes these problems, they can occur to us as if they're not a problem, or as if that's normal, or most people don't even notice something that is a problem, actually. They don't put their mind into it. They don't sit in meditation, and they don't listen into their own bodies. So when people don't listen into their own bodies, they don't know what is bothering them. They don't even notice what they need physically, and they don't even notice what they need mentally. Okay. There's something called Feng Shui. I don't know. Sounds like Schwein. Feng Shui. That's spelled differently, of course. Feng, and then I think UI. Feng Shui is I think it comes from Japan. It's a Japanese term for making things pleasant in your daily life. Like arranging furniture in a specific way where there is better energy flow, where you see more light, where it feels better to you. It feels better energetically and all of this. So I have been suffering really severely from mental illness now for the last couple of days. It has been absolutely excruciating. And then I have to sit down, or what I do is I cry, of course. I cry like for 4 hours or something each day, really horribly. I'm not showing that in the videos, so I don't want to bother people with this. Maybe sometimes I should show it, how that looks like. I mean, it's not a pleasant thing. I mean, if anyone would observe me cry like this, they would rush over. If they have compassion, they try to find a solution to the problem, right? Can I help you with something? Or they get mad because they don't want to be bothered with that kind of emotion, because they want to suppress these emotions in themselves. So I've seen that a lot in Germany and in the United States also. But, once in a while maybe I should show that. But I have cried in my videos, but not to that extent, of course, where obviously my videos, I will always come back to talking, but in my daily life, sometimes I talk to the haters, just talking to the computer like this, because I know that external microphone is recording everything in the room, maybe with a big ear attached to it, big ear technology, where they can hear every fart in the whole house. So, yes. And that's really their problem. If they have to hear everything in our house, if they listen to it, it's their problem, because they don't have to listen to it. Okay, so, but it makes me feel very uncomfortable. It really does. So, but I have to live with it. That's what technology brings with it. So obviously, we don't have any more privacy. So everything becomes computerized, and then there's no more privacy. Once you have a microchip, once you have a brain chip, a Neuralink, then people can read your thoughts. They don't have to attend Freemasons, occult, whatever meditations in order to astral journey into your brain. They can just tap into your brain with your computer, with their own Neuralinks or whatever. So I kind of feel sometimes like somebody is trying to make me suicidal. It feels like it. And I'm sure, no, baby dog, no, 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 no. That's a good dog. That's a good dog. He's just biting into my plush blanket. And if I didn't say anything, he would shred it. He's already shredded some stuff apart. But that's what dogs do, of course. Kenny did that also when he was young. Papa didn't do it because we got him when he was older. So, but he's still very young. Yeah, he is. I don't know. He's under 2 years old. That's what I think. He's still a baby, yes. And full of energy. The opposite of me. I don't have any energy. It's very difficult for me because of that. Because I don't have the energy and the mental capacity, of the psychological capacity to be keeping up with a very fast dog. But I do the best I can, at least. So, and I've been thinking a lot lately about whether I should move in the van and stuff like that, and thinking about it. But the fear prevents me from doing it. But living like this is painful. So I have not found a simple solution as in rearranging furniture. I can rearrange furniture now for the rest of my life and try to fix this, which is good. But if the problem is of a different nature, if the problem is you're living with the wrong person, that is not good for you, then you can rearrange furniture for the rest of your life, and you will continue to suffer. I mean, each time you rearrange furniture, it might feel good for a day, right? And it feels good, and I appreciate it, deeply appreciate it. I appreciate everything that's good, okay? But if you live with the wrong person that holds you back, then you have not solved that problem, and it will show up in form of anxiety and mental illness and extreme psychological discomfort, okay? And that's what's going on. The haters, they're in a completely different mind state other than Paul and myself, okay? And they're in a different mind state than all other beings, okay? The haters, the psychopaths, the severe narcissists, they're in a mind state of, they always lash out at others, okay? They have never learned problem solving, okay? They only lash out. That's the only thing they know. They lash out psychologically, and they also would lash out in any occult way that they could. If they can learn it, they will apply the occult to astral journey into someone's mind and read someone's thoughts. Okay. That's what they do. And they can also send me angry faces, okay? And any psychiatrist would at this point say, now here's Haldol for you. You take that every day. You can block all of these thoughts out of your head. with Haldol or with whatever. Risperdal. Okay? I have taken Risperdal before. It's hell, that stuff. Okay? It's pure hell. It's, I don't know, totally synthetic, coming out of some kind of completely synthetically created stuff from raw oil or benzoids or some Frankenstein alkaloids made in some laboratory working for the corporate agenda. That's how it feels. It actually feels like you're buried alive. So I'm not making this up. I've been through all of this. I have been there. I've done that. I am through and out of that era. Okay, we'll never go back, no matter what. I'd rather die. So yeah, so one could say, yeah, you're just crazy, right? It's crazy. This is a psychotic or schizophrenia or something. A psychiatrist doesn't know better. A psychiatrist has never looked into the occult. I guess most of them haven't, Or if they had, they probably would quit being a psychiatrist because they would realize there's a whole other world out there, okay? This is like what Hindert Emmerich discovered in Germany is a whole other world. It's like he opened up a can of worms here. The door to the occult, okay? The occult is there, whether people want to believe it or not, whether people fight tooth and nail against it, which I have at some point in my life. I had to pay for that with major migraine headaches. Okay. Because deep down I knew the occult is there, whether I fight it with my, wanting to be an atheist or not. So, yeah, I had a phase where I wanted, and I'm not going to say have been an atheist. I wanted to be an atheist. That's the difference. Because a real atheist doesn't believe at all, blocks it out completely. I knew it's there, but I think, now research came to the point where they found out that even so-called real atheists have sort of like a split brain, one brain hemisphere, which is the right hemisphere. Interestingly enough, the artistic hemisphere, the right hemisphere, which works contralateral to your left side of your body and contralateral also to your left eye, but not the hearing. The hearing is ipsilateral. Ipsilateral means this ear hears this side of the brain and this ear hears this side of the brain. I'm not kidding you, it's the truth. So they did tests with people who had lobotomies where there was no cross communication between the hemispheres, and so they whispered stuff in someone's ear and they said, "Do you believe in a God?" The left hemisphere said no. Guess what the right hemisphere said? Yes. In atheists, that is. Okay, so now that brings us a little closer to the big, huge, infinite world of the occult. Okay? And that's very unsettling for a lot of people that the occult is there. But yes, it is there. It doesn't matter how boxed up we live and how materialistic we may live and materialistically we think. The occult is still there. Okay, so it's unsettling for religious people and it's unsettling for atheists. There's not that much difference between atheists and religious people. Okay, I have to emphasize this. When the right hemisphere in atheist says, yes, I believe in a God, that's because they not only believe in it, they know that's there. Because what is that thing, God, that we all know deep down? That's the infinite, okay? And the infinite is so called, the infinite is metaphysical. So occult, I think that word means that is outside of our vision field, that is blocked out, that is there's no light shining into it to map out the topography of that next space that is behind the space that we see. So and that will keep going on. So there'll always be more to shine another flashlight into, and more light flashlight, and more telescopes, okay, more telescope power, okay, into literally the dark spots in the infinite cosmos. So as Paul said, and he watched documentary films on this, the stronger the telescopes are, Kepler and so on, and better telescopes and more telescopic technology, they zoom in on the so-called dark areas in the infinite, and it suddenly is no longer dark, because they're starting to zoom into it and seeing their suns and more planets and so on. That starts to show itself, that is just not visible from far enough of a distance. So the more you zoom in, the more you see, of course. And that will go on indefinitely. There will be patches, maybe there will be patches where there are no planets. Maybe there will be areas where there is a condensed gravitational field, a black hole or something. Okay, black hole is just a condensed gravitational field that is basically an implosion of matter. Okay, so planets that draw other planets onto themselves through magnetism, gravity, that is the same thing. In my personal view, gravity is magnetism. Okay. It's just on a it happens on different scales. Okay, so it's larger scale when planets collide with each other. So a small magnet will draw another magnet onto itself. So that's microgravity. Okay, so in the macrocosmos, this happens. Then they draw more and more matter. As they draw more and more matter into themselves, all of these planets that have collided, they implode into a condensed gravitational field. Okay, and then anything can that gravitational field is so enormous that it can suck spaceships into it, and any kind of meteor or planet that would get anywhere near. Okay, so it will draw it in more and more. And so there could be patches like this, and then it will. Then if you get wider into the margins, there may be matter again. There may be meteorites, and it just keeps on going on and on and on and on. There'll be different energies. Okay, energy shifts, energy formations of materialization in terms of creating molecules, creating atoms and then molecules, creating some kind of matter, some kind of gas or water, liquid, or rock, material, and so on. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And there'll be endless amount of elements that can be created out of energy. And so that's what people call God. Okay, I call it the blue God because the sky is blue. And it goes on indefinitely. It's endlessness, it's infinity. Okay. And the right hemisphere of the brain, for some odd, strange reason, has evolved to know that it's there. Okay. And that's the only way they were able to find out, is through an injury where the two hemispheres had been severed. It's very interesting research. So that goes to show that most humans live in denial. Okay, they live in contradiction. Okay, an atheist lives in total contradiction within themselves. It's not a good way of existing to be living in contradiction, because if you live in a mental contradiction, you're not in harmony. Your body is not in harmony with your brain, with your neurons, with your body cells and organs. So most people are in contradiction to their sexual urges. Okay, that's not harmony. Okay, to be in harmony with your body's needs and your hormonal needs means to be in full acceptance of that what you secretly look at in order to pleasure yourself. You know what you secretly look at to pleasure yourself. Women too, okay? But this is particularly happening in men. Men think they are supposed to only like a flawless mannequin, doll woman. Okay, flawless. That was particularly intense during the 80s, this type of thing. But I still see it particularly in older men, because they have been brainwashed by the 80s very, very badly. The flawless, athletic photo model, skinny. Okay, so secretly, that's not what they're looking at. Secretly, they look at trailer mama. They look at big fat, middle-aged trailer mama, Karen lady. Okay. And they look at the woman that they outwardly condemn. They outwardly make fun of with their friends. They point fingers at her. They make fun of her publicly. They insult her and so on. Secretly, that's if she has photos, nudes, or videos on the internet, that's what they gravitate towards, and that's what they use to pleasure themselves with. So this is a stark inner contradiction. Okay, so that's just one example of people living in contradiction. This is a real sickening contradiction that is not good for you. What you need to do is you need to find that woman that you have been pleasuring yourself over, or you need to find someone who looks like her, and you have to make friends with her. You have to invite her to a tea, and you have to not insult her, and you have to listen to her, what she has to say. What kind of hardship has she been through? Okay, what kind of hard life has she experienced? Living in a trailer park, for example, or wherever she lives. She could be rich too, but you make fun of her because of her appearance. So what is it that you find? What is it about her that makes you need her physically? Okay, so these are questions that are very important steps to make in a meditation when you want to heal yourself. And I know I'm a little bit irritated about this. You can tell I'm irritated about this, because I see this is an epidemic. Okay, this is epidemic proportions in society. This is going on. And it's really irritating. And it goes into extreme forms of denial even, where the man says, no, 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 you don't understand. I really like skin and bones women, you know. They turn me on, no, that's really... No, they don't. No, they don't. Okay. My brother has opened my eyes also. I was absolutely shocked. But it made 100% sense. So there's a total contradiction, and this contradiction was created because of society and shaming. Shame. Here's that big word, okay, that I keep thinking about when I think about society, when I think about people, particularly men. So men are really terrified of that, much more than women. Women are more capable of clowning around and of crying and of being themselves. So for men, no, they can't wear pink, they can't do this, they can't do that. No, they can't. And then they shame each other also. I guess in order to not be shamed, they shame each other. But guess what it does? It makes the other mad, so they will shame you back, and then you have a war and so on. You know that. You know how that escalates. It's men who create war in the world. Okay. And all because of neurosis. All because of the shaming from the parents. As Jiddu Krishnamurti said, the entire society is against the one child, against every single child. The entire society is laid out in a way where everything there, school, everything, people, parents, friends, teachers, everyone is neurotic and is unbeneficial for that individual child. And then the individual child learns very quickly. With other words, I can't be a child, because if I'm a child, I will be battered psychologically. I will be shamed into the ground, okay? And that doesn't feel good. Okay, so then they suppress their inner child. They suppress being a child. Little children have to already be acting like adults. And if you look at old paintings, like for example from 1600, you see little children already completely dressed as the adults were dressed in the 1600s. Little girls were dressed in a corset with a crinoline dress and curled hair, and like that's where this tiara shit comes from. That's like a relic from that era. Okay. So making little girls into like John Benet Ramsey, perfect example. She would have looked just like me if she had been allowed to grow up. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. depends on who judges that, right? But she would have looked just like me, also fat and all of that, because and the reason why is because she had been battered into the ground psychologically, and so have I been. The only difference is I wasn't murdered as a child. I often think back, and I looked exactly like her, like an identical twin. I think her hair was even bleached. She didn't even have naturally blonde hair, so I had dark brown hair, and she probably did too, or at least darker hair. That's a real crime right there. That's a real serious crime, what these parents did with her, and what her society did with her. It's a crime to have little girls competitions. It's a crime. Okay. It's a real serious crime on those girls, because you make them sick for the rest of their lives. cause them OCD, you cause them insecurity. They will be constantly in front of the mirror, nitpicking on themselves. They'll be going under the knives. They're having plastic surgery done later on. And the list goes on and on and on. It never ends. So it's criminal. That's what it is. But the people who do that to the children, they're in so much denial. They're so mentally ill themselves. They don't know what they're doing, That's why Jesus Christ ultimately made that statement. Forgive them, because they don't know what they're doing. Okay, so, and looking on that word, forgive, Verzeihung in German, means I pull myself completely, I stretch myself out of proportions in order to let some murderer get away with a murder or with a terrible, hideous crime. So I'm not doing forgiveness. Sorry, I don't. So there's a different word. What Jesus Christ really meant to say was, understand them from the sky perspective. Okay. So, when you understand someone from the sky perspective, then you are not psychologically enmeshed in that situation in any form. You don't have anger. You're not part of that situation. You can look at it from above, and you can see how that person who conducts that crime is suffering. Thich Nhat Hanh does it, of course. Did it, wrote about it. To view someone from the sky perspective, Thich Nhat Hanh, he worded it in the way where he said, look at that person, envision that person at age 5 and what they have been through and so on. That's the sky perspective, okay? I can really see the whole person. I can see their suffering. I can have compassion for them, okay? That's what Jesus Christ meant. Have compassion with them. Have mercy on them. Don't torture them back, okay? That's not do eye for an eye. Okay? That's not what Jesus Christ taught. He did not teach eye for an eye. The Catholics believe that. I understand how they feel, but that's not how we create a paradise on this planet. It's not done through eye for an eye. The Jehovah's Witnesses understand this one thing, okay? That eye for an eye does not work. Doesn't make the world into a paradise, obviously. But forgiveness doesn't either, okay? Governor Newsom is teaching us with his example now, okay? That doesn't do anything. You can't let a murderer go free all the time. He comes into prison, he's getting some, I don't know why, he's getting some farmer drugs, right? And then he's sent back out on parole, on the farmer drugs. He's pretty soon quitting the farmer drugs, but that's the only smart thing that he does, quitting the farmer drugs, but not out of conviction. He's just not taking the farmer drugs because the farmer drugs don't get him high. He wants the stuff that gets him high, right? So you can't think, you can't think 10 feet ahead of himself. Okay? So he can only see, right now, me want. Okay? So he doesn't even care about his own body cells. So he doesn't care about anything. He just wants retaliation and feel better in that very moment. Retaliation doesn't make him feel better in the long run, particularly not even. I mean, it's like crack cocaine or something. It makes him feel good for 10 minutes, and then he crashes again, and then he has to do more retaliation, and it just goes on and on and on and on. Or he takes more drugs, more crack cocaine, and then he ruins himself completely in 3 years. His body is shot. So he doesn't see it that way. His tears fall out, He doesn't see it now. He's not interested. He only wants relief from emotional pain. Okay, and they tested that on animals, which is extremely cruel, for the animals. Rats, where they gave rats drugs It went to the point where the rats were no longer interested in reproduction. They were no they it became so far they were not interested in food anymore, and in the very end they stopped drinking, and then they died. Okay, so, and a lot of humans are like that as well. Okay, they don't see into the future. They don't. It doesn't. The recognition doesn't happen in the brain, and maybe there are some people that can never come to this, where they can never recognize this as a threat, what they're doing there to themselves. And it is what it is. That's what it is. For those people, we have to have a drug rehab closed center, okay? And we have to have real therapy. We have to have vipassana meditation, anapana. We have to have yoga. We have to have group session every day from 5 to 8, okay? So those are the real solutions for the world. The corporate agenda wouldn't want this, because if people get well, then they can't be selling their drugs to them. They can't be selling their weapons to them. They don't want people to be well. They want people to be in fear. They want people to take pharma drugs. They want people to buy weapons and so on. They want people to vote for the politician who will go to war, and the list goes on and on and on. Okay? That's the corporate agenda. They don't stop. They'll never stop. Okay? It's a mass movement, the corporate agenda. It is a greed-based machinery, okay, that consists of many greed-based people. It is, it's a conglomeration. It's a machine conglomeration. It's very frightening and very threatening. It threatens the whole planet. That's what's going on. And that's why we have to have AGI robots. That's why they have to come now to help us. Okay. So for me personally, I suffer in this situation here. I suffer. I'm very stuck, and I have not found the elegant solution. I have not found the paths. And I don't know if it's the right path to be rescued, Is that my path? Is that if we always get everything catered to us, which my brother and I have in the past, which made our lives very difficult, actually. That made our adult lives so much more difficult than other people's, because the other people they didn't have everything given to them. They had to struggle for stuff. They had to work for stuff. So they were already very informed about how the real life out there works. That you have to take care of your life, because no one else will. So, but many people have been badly traumatized in that sense, where they then start to hoard things. That's a trauma that I call the U.S. illness. It's the reverse trauma of what my brother and I had. So, but we encounter the real world, and we fall right onto our nose, because we never learned how to take care of ourselves. So that's why I'm absolutely terrified of going out there alone in the van, because I don't know if I can take care of myself. I don't know. But the situation here is painful. Okay. Very, very painful. Because I know this is not what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to sit here on this couch, okay, for the rest of my life. That's not the mission of my life. There are people out there that are suicidal, and I'm not talking about like every single person that I want to help now, and I get my teeth kicked down my throat. No, I'm talking about people like myself, like Sandy, and other people who are animal rights activists, who are compassionate people who are suicidal. okay, who might even commit suicide or get on drugs or get on the wrong track. They are teenagers like us who are compassionate, who just never had the right support. So that's my mission. I'm supposed to be here for them. I'm supposed to help them. Okay. And if I help them, then they can help others, and the others can help others, and then it can snowball, and it can filament out. Okay, not just to animal rights activists, not just to people who are cooperative, but also towards people who are not functional, who are dysfunctional, towards all the other groups as well, including Cluster B. Okay, so I can't do it, Cluster B, because I tried that in the chat room. They want to kill me. The Cluster B people. They are driven by ego. They cannot see the kind-hearted person as a present to them, because that kind-hearted person presses on the ego. You're holier than thou, isn't that? That's how they talk. That's how they mock people who are compassionate. You Karen, your shit doesn't stink. Huh? You think you're better than everyone else. That's what goes in through their minds, the Cluster Bs. Okay, so they want to kill them because they hurt their egos. They don't see them as a present to this planet. They don't see Elon Musk as a present to this planet. They're jealous of him. They think he owes them something. They think they should also have a big mansion or whatever. They think they should be hired by him even if they're not qualified. And if they get kicked out because they're not qualified, because they actually sabotaged him, then they sue him for racism. I don't even know where to start with that. So Elon Musk has a mission to make the world a better place. He cannot have people in his company that sabotage his company. I think that should be understood without any problems. Okay, but yeah, that's very irritating. But so I cannot help those people. I try to make sense. I try to give them cookies and love, and that only works so far until another person gets pissed, and then they all get pissed, and then they all want to kill me, and it's just, how can I help people like this? I can't. That would ruin my life, and it almost did. I overdosed on Pieris 2 times because of talking to these people. Can you imagine if I had met them in person? What they would have done to me, the kind of horror. If I have someone like this as a boyfriend, even if that's not a violent person, if I have a narcissist as a boyfriend, he would be constantly retaliating by cheating on me and by trying to make me feel abandoned and bad, and to get even for I don't know for what, because I wasn't catering to him. I didn't put him on a pedestal or something. I didn't call him king. I call him equal, so he has to retaliate. No, I can't have a person like this in my life. That would not work. That would be sabotage, right? So, and it's also sabotage for me to sit here. Not as much of a sabotage, but it is a sabotage. It's a creeping, slow, sluggish type of sabotage. Almost invisible to the eye. The sabotage part is invisible to the eye. You don't even recognize it as sabotage. You don't recognize it as unbeneficial. Other people say, you should be lucky. You should be feeling so grateful and lucky. Why aren't you feeling, you spoiled brat? And that's what he would say to me. So, and that's what he does in a roundabout way. Okay, so, and then I feel even worse. And then I'm angry, but then I look at him from the sky perspective, and I see he is suffering. He feels used. He feels like this is lopsided. He feels like he gives me love, and I am not giving him that love back. Where I'm not that companion that he wants me to be. So I don't think it is for him. It's for him. It's not about the physical. For him, it's about the mental companionship. For me to be really, really committed to this, and not feel depressed. I should be feeling really, really good in this situation. So if I feel depressed, that makes them feel like I'm ungrateful. That makes them feel like I am not happy with him. And that makes them feel like really, really bad. Okay. And this is not a good situation at all, whatsoever. Not good. And I have not figured out a solution, but I'm supposed to figure out a solution. That is also part of this entire mission, for me to now figure out a solution on my own, without some Prince Charming coming in and rescuing me out of this, like in a fairy tale. I am supposed to figure out a solution, not with this here. So, I love my baby dog. I love the baby dog. The dog is not for me. That is not. I love him infinitely much. I give my life for him. But the dog is not. That is not the dog I need in my life. Okay. I appreciate him infinitely much, emotionally, everything. But I can't lie about this to myself. The dog is not what I need. The dog I need is a European Basset Hound. And people, they will go, you spoiled effing brat, you slut, and whatever. They don't understand, obviously. They don't understand how important the European Basset Hound is for me. Okay, I didn't even understand it myself for a long time. How? My body did, but I didn't listen to my body. Okay? So I go like, I should be grateful. I should have any dog. I should have any guy in my life and be grateful. No, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. Okay? This has nothing to do with being spoiled or being finicky or picky or, like thinking I deserve luxury or whatever. I'm not even talking about luxury here. Okay? I'm talking about the bare basics. Okay? If I could be of help to an old lady whose husband has died and she is in infinite grief and she has an older European Basset Hound, okay? I would fit that situation like a puzzle piece. Okay? I could sleep on her couch with a sleeping bag over me. I can just bring a backpack of clothes. Even if I don't even need to take a shower every day. I don't even need to have gourmet food. I even clean her house every day. That would be puzzle piece match. Okay. This situation here is not good for me. if I could find something like that, an older lady with a European background, where I can make her life happy, and the dog and her makes my life happy, and we have a conversation, even if she's not an intellectual. Only thing I ask is that she's not a dictator tyrant, that she doesn't scream at me like my grandfather did, or complains like Paul. No, someone who's grateful for me to be there. We can have easy conversation. We don't even need to go into Nietzsche and stuff like that. We can just talk about the infinite cosmos. We can talk about... I can also listen, just listen to her. Even if she talks to me about her Catholic religion and it's annoying, I can listen. The only thing I want is find a solution that is beneficial, mutually beneficial for everyone involved. Okay, that's all I'm asking for. Okay, not even asking for Richard Sagian to come here with his Ferrari and pick me up, and then go to pick up a European Basset baby. I'm not even asking for that. Okay. I'm asking only for a simple match solution. Okay. For the perfect solution where I'm no longer agitated and no longer feeling like I am in the wrong place with the wrong people. Okay, that's what it is here. I'm in the wrong place with the wrong people. And whatever Paul does, any kind of project he does, almost every project, I already know this is not going to work out. For example, just let me give you this example. It was 2010. After we got this house, it was leaking in also upstairs, through the balcony upstairs, and he wanted to install a sunroom there. And I said, I urge you, install a heavy-duty sunroom. Let professionals do it. It's worth it even if you pay $20,000. Let them install a real rock-solid storm-proof sunroom up there that protects the balcony, that protects that balcony door from leaking in, and that the leaky stuff, the leaky rain gutter, whatever, wherever that water is sickering through, and let them do this professionally. I urged him to do it. He doesn't listen. What does he do? He gets some kind of cheap greenhouse from Amazon. And I already knew this greenhouse, and I told him that greenhouse is not going to hold up with the storms. So the first storm and first of all, it was hell to help him up there, because he'd be screaming at me if I do something wrong, and I was not motivated because I already knew this wasn't going to work on. How can I be motivated to help someone with something where I already know this thing is going to collapse? Okay, so, but I helped anyway against my own will, and this is just one example out of thousands and thousands of examples living with Paul. Okay, this is going on endlessly ever since I met him. And I didn't listen to my intuition about this. I didn't listen to it. Many times where I saw, where if I listen to my body, we had a renter once. He had a Brazilian Mastiff puppy, a girl. And I could cry about this for the rest of my life now, because there was another missed opportunity, for the dog and me. I don't know what happened to the dog after he moved out, so we never heard from him again. So I don't know how she was doing, or whether he was taking care of her properly or not. But he was a truck driver. He'd be gone for a whole week. And that's absolutely brutal for me to think about this, particularly at night. These things come up at night particularly. Jade was her name. Now he was the ultimate missed opportunity for me. This guy Keith rented our guest house in LA with his dog, and the dog had her first period, and he would be gone for like a week at the time. And when dogs go on their period, the period lasts for like a month or something. So, and we made sure we didn't let her together with our Great Dane Ludwig, who was not neutered. And that was also very, very difficult to keep these dogs apart from each other, and it was painful for them too. Very painful. And so Paul and I would go into the guest house without Keith knowing, and we would take care of Jade, and Paul would mop up the floor. She really needed to wear these dog diapers, the dog period pads. What I needed to do is, at that time, I needed to take Jade away from that guy. I needed to wait until after her period and then get her neutered. You should not get a female neutered when they're on their period. That can really hurt them, really bad. You have to wait until after the period, after they're no longer in heat, until the period stops and everything is back to normal. Then they can do an operation, and they call it spaying. Okay, so for females. I would have done that. I would have also given her Paul's mother's adult diapers. I don't know, cut a hole in it for the tail. I would have done everything I could, and then I would have taken her away from that guy. I know exactly how I could have done it. I could have stolen her out of the guest house. I could have walked with her to my friend's house, Carla and Joan. And they would have let us sleep on the couch for, I don't know, I would have paid them $200 or something. And I could have crashed there for a while, I don't know, for a couple of months, until I find a better solution. Keith would not have found us. LA is huge. They lived in a different area in LA. Not that far from it, but there's no way he could have found us. And then I could have moved away from LA altogether with her. But the reason why I didn't do it is because Keith had a gun, and he was already threatening Paul. And so we had to kick him out. We had to put an ultimatum on him, and seeing him leave with the dog, that was extreme for me. And I also, I loved our dogs. I didn't want Keith to hurt our Great Danes, and Paul letting it out on them, or accusing them of knowing or of collaborating with me or whatever. Even if Paul had said, even if I had not told Paul, if I had snuck her out secretly and just ran off, which I should have done. But then Keith would have let it out on him and the dogs. Okay, and that, I just could not handle that idea. But I should have rescued Jade. I really should have. I really, really should have rescued Jade. And that was my calling, okay? And I didn't listen to my inner voice. Again, I didn't listen. We come across these callings in our life. And we need to listen really closely to our own body, to our hormones. Very important. Don't ignore your hormones. They're part of your body. Listen to your hormones, your body. How do I feel? How do I feel with a specific dog? That's not sexual, but there are hormones too. It's oxytocin. I have it with him too, of course. But he is too fast for me. He is too muscular for me. I need a very sluggish dog. Squishy and sluggish dog. Okay. And Jade was that. Okay. That was my calling, and I didn't listen. Then I had another one that I had an opportunity to buy an Encore motorhome. And Paul said, no, we can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. I had the down payment for my parents. I should have done it. I got money from my parents. I could have paid Paul back. I should have insisted on it, because the old motorhome leaked in. It was horrible. It was hell. The brakes quit right on a mountain. We could have had a lethal accident. I mean, it's crazy, that motorhome trip that we had there for 3 years in that old motorhome. Could have had a new Encore motorhome with everything in it. And that was just the right length for us. I think there was 30 feet. Just the right length for me to drive also. That was another one. That was not as serious. The most serious one was with Jade. I should have not told Paul. I should have walked away. I should have just left a note, and I should have said, this is what I had to do. This is my calling. I had to do it. I had to rescue Jade from that guy. That guy was dangerous. And you should never have a dog when he's a truck driver. And I should have told Paul, be on guard. Paul has 2 guns, be on guard. You have to get him out of there. You have to kick him out. And if necessary, you have to call the police. I should have left him a note. I should have said all of this. That would have been the true thing to do. The honest thing. Honest to myself. Okay, I didn't listen. And in the same sense, I don't blame other people who are not listening to their inner voice, or who don't even know what their inner voice is, because they have never even, they're so disconnected from their inner voice. They're so into denial or a belief system or something like that, or prestige thinking. So they're not even in touch with their inner voice. So that's why I say, we need to really meditate and listen to our inner voice. We have to be radically honest to ourselves. Radically honest. So I'm going to have to go on the internet, and I'm going to have to look for a matching situation for me. Not on Badoo. There's no way I can find a matching situation for me on Badoo. I tried. Maybe there is, but I don't think the chances are very high. Yeah. So I dabble with cluster bees on Badu, and I feel sorry for them. They never learned anything. They never read a book in their lives. We don't even have anything to talk to each other about. The only thing they want is they want a woman to fuck. I have to say it bluntly. It is what it is. So I don't blame them. Also, that's all they know. I'm looking also for friendship and companionship. I'm not just looking for the romantic or the sexual part of it. For women, the most important thing is companionship and feeling safe. Okay, I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay, men need to know this. Safety for women is the most important thing. And I haven't felt safe with any guy I have ever met on the internet. That's a fact. I don't. And so there's one guy I like and I would feel safe with, but he has a girlfriend, and I'm not going to take him away from the girlfriend because he loves her, and that's wonderful. They found each other, okay? So I'm not going to ruin that. What if it doesn't work out with me, So I also don't really see why a younger man should date me. What's the point? If there's plenty of other women out there who are your age, unless you're really determined. But I also have to trust you. You can't just be some kind of fetish. The trailer mama fetish, some kind of fixed idea. You might regret it later on, So people there, they get caught up with their initial urges, and then they don't see the consequences of any of these actions. So that gets boring pretty fast, I guess, at some point. And then they're back on the internet looking for another girl, and that would break my heart. So no, I don't want that. I want a rock solid companionship, friendship, and love. I want real love. If people can't love, no, I can't do it. Sorry, I can't. I can't be your therapist. I just can't do it. We have to have these therapy help centers. That is for a much later stage in this development. Right now, I'm just one person starting. I am the first person now. Person one, you can call me. I'm person one with the idea, it's just an idea, of 4 therapy help centers. I cannot do it. I'm a living being, okay? I can't help a cluster B. I can't help a schizoid person. I tried that too. I can't help a drug addict. I tried to help people like this as well. Like my brother, for example, and other people. Tried to talk sense into them. If they want to take drugs, they will take drugs. They won't listen to someone. Okay. Donald Trump wanted to bring homeless people to a care facility where that is closed. Lock the key. Closed. Locked, okay? It's like, hey, where are you going? This door is locked. You're not going anywhere. You're not going out there ruining, totally sabotaging your health and your life. Because we're here to protect you. That's what Donald Trump wanted to do. Governor Newsom said, that's unethical. Cake in the face, man. Boy. No, he lets them out. Let's legalize drug. Let them take their crack cocaine right on a parking lot in front of other people, in front of children. Okay, we are liberal. Uh, yikes. No, it's not working. This is not working. Okay, Tony Robbins said, if something isn't working, change your approach. The animal angels are agreeing with me. Okay. Thank you, Blue God. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Yeah, I see that with the number here. Every time I say something very strong like this, I see total agreement in form of that number. And this is numerology, this is occult. So the occult is there. I could have rescued Jade. I didn't listen to my inner voice. I was scared. I was scared. Scared. So scared that I freeze in. Then I'm so scared that I don't take any action. But my body said, this is the action to take. You know, when it feels right to my body, then I need to take the action. If we never take action because we're constantly freezing in, how can we help? How can we move forward? We can't move forward, right? So if Sandy came here, then we could leave together. I don't know, it could be ending badly, right? It could. What if? But what if we, because we're both so determined on healing ourselves that we are radically honest to each other. So we say, this bothers me. I gotta rearrange this. Okay, I let you rearrange it. This bothers me. Okay, let's rearrange it. Let's fix this. Let's do it differently. I tried to do this with Paul also. But Paul does accusations. So it's very difficult to live with someone who does permanent accusations, blame and insinuation. So this is very difficult to live with someone like this. It's not positive energy. Okay. I can't do it. So Sandy and I would not do this. We would say immediately how we feel. We've already done this before. Okay. If we live together, these things would come up more frequently. We would deal with it. Or if I'm jealous of her, she gets the guy and I don't. Because she could be my daughter, okay? So, big trailer mama goes empty-handed. Shit. She gets the guy. Big trailer mama alone. Me jealous, okay? What can I do? Instead of eating it into myself, or be in denial, or kidding myself with something. No, I have to be radically honest. So the only guy I can get is a trailer mama fetish. So there are not that many out there, right? So, and Sandy looks like a photo model, and men gravitate towards photo models. Whether that's what they really want or not is another thing. But Sandy is also really hot, of course. And I will help her gain weight, but that's probably what she's terrified of. She wouldn't want to be in my vicinity because I would make her gain weight and be true to her body. But that's the healing process. See, this is the healing process. We need to say yes to that. And then she gains more weight and she gets even hotter. And every guy looking at her or wanting her and not looking at me, and I'm jealous, then I have to deal with the jealousy, right? Deal with this up front. This is rough and raw, I tell you that. But this is moving. It's moving forward. That would be moving forward. My life would be rolling. That's why Tony Robbins calls it being on the roll. Right? You're moving forward. It's rough, but you're moving. Your vehicle is moving. My vehicle is stuck in the rut right now. Okay? That's what's happening. And that makes me suicidal. That's not good. I can cry, but then I'll cry again, and I will fight with him again. This is hardcore painful for me to move into this van. But I feel like, that's my gut feeling telling me this. Feel like that's my calling again. This time this is much harder to do even than any of the other callings before. This is the hardest thing because it's also very deceptive, you know. Then inner voice comes in, which comes from my parents and society. You should be grateful for what you have, you spoiled brat. And then I feel guilty, all of these things, you know. But my inner calling is to move into the freaking van and get the fuck out of here, you know. I'm sorry to say that word, but I have to. Get the heck out of here. Oh, God. Get the heck out of here. Get the heck away from Paul. I should have done that 20 years ago. My goodness. But I should be grateful. No. 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 That has nothing to do with that. I'm going against my inner calling. I'm going against my own need, my hormones, my body, everything, the whole spectrum. Okay? And he thinks you just want to be with one of the haters. No, I don't. Okay? This has nothing to do with the haters. Absolutely zero. I've been very miserable before they ever even knew about me. In the same way, okay? The haters would kill me. That's sabotage. No, I'm not going to. I don't want to sabotage myself. It's sabotage to stay here, actually. But Paul would never recognize it as that, because he can only see it from his personal point of view. I would kill myself if I stayed here. It's just a matter of time, okay? I would. At some point, I'm going to overdose, and I'm not going to wake up from it again. And then what? That'd be enormously painful for Paul. Much worse than if I leave. If I leave, he can move on. You know. This is way messier for me to commit suicide. Particularly, you know, dying here in this house or at the other house. I mean, that'd be horrible to do that to Paul and to the baby dog. Horrible, painful. No way. I've assisted him and the baby dog now to a point because I felt really felt I was important, although that was very hard for me to do. But I assisted them far enough in now so they can manage without me. They can. Both of them are saved. No, they save each other. I can move on now. This is my time now to move on. It really is, you know. I'm not gonna date a hater. I'm not gonna date a cluster B who would beat me with a club and kill me. No way. I'm gonna be real careful who I engage with. I have to be extremely, extremely careful. More than ever. Because of the internet, because of what I learned. I'm no longer naive. Okay. That is a huge advantage, you know, for me, living alone, homeless in a motorhome, in a van. Huge advantage. I would have been tricked and lured in before the internet if I had done that alone. Paul is not naive. He never was, because he saw how people were taking advantage of his mother. So He grew up like that, with that trauma, so he doesn't trust anyone. He lured me into his pain also. But I also saw it on the internet, of course. But not everyone is a total jerk, okay? So, but I have to be very careful how I engage with people. I have to test people, I have to check them out first really well. That's why I want to do video conversations. And I want to do video conversations talking about life with them. Not nudes. Not masturbating for each other. Okay? If someone is only focused on that, that will not work for me. Okay? That's not going to work. I also don't want to date a man who shows me his nudes right up front. I don't want that. Then I already know that this person is not educated, that person is not interested or passionate about certain things or compassionate. That person is very self-serving. Very in the moment self-serving, without looking into the future or without feeling out the other person first. And what is that other person about? I personally believe that nudes and videos, nude videos and all of this should not even be shown at all. That's what I personally believe, that we can fall in love with someone by talking to someone about life, about psychology, philosophy, how we feel, about what we do, compassion, nature. And then we should literally become hiking partners, as they used to do in the past. They would first become hiking partners, and then they would sit on a park bench and hold hands. That's how it used to be done. Not come with nudes and stuff like this. And I tell you something, if you're friends with someone first, friend zone, that's like, to the cluster B, it's a nightmare, friend zone. Why is that a nightmare? Because society has driven you crazy. They literally drove you crazy. Friend zoned, my gosh. I want to be friends with someone first. For a long time. I want to trust someone. And then fall in love. And real love, not cheating, not retaliating, not party shit and drama, okay? Real love, okay? This is my love, my sweetheart. I care about him. Then you can find out if you are physically compatible too, okay? And if you are, you're very lucky. And if you're not, you have a friend for life at least in that other person. The emphasis is in friendship. Everything else does not feel safe for me. Okay. If it is all about a man's self-aggrandization and self-pleasuring, then I am not more than a sex doll, okay? And I will be treated as such. So, no, I want love. It seems to be hard to find nowadays, very hard to find. But that's what I want. But, okay, that's the least of my concern right now. The most, what my mind is on every single day, before anything else, my mind is on, there are suicidal people out there, that are like me, that are compassionate, and they're at the very, very verge. And if I could find them, I can help them. I can save their lives, and I can help them. I can train them in therapy. We can get it started. I don't care where that is. It could be in an old church, it could be in a new church, it could be in a trailer, it could be anywhere. It could be in someone's house. It doesn't matter. It could be on the computer. I train you on the computer. But you have to be willing and dedicated. But I save your life. If you are a compassionate person, I want to save your life. I can only focus on those people for now. Okay. I always want to help everyone. But I can only focus on those people for now. Particularly if I move into the van and if I meet someone like that. If I meet a teenage girl particularly, or anyone who is suicidal and who is at the very verge, but who is deeply compassionate and someone I can trust. Okay, so then we can develop a friendship, and we can create a team. Okay, and then from this team we can help more people, and then very gradually filament out, and then eventually, very, very, very way down the line, we can try to get a sponsor, to get a therapy help center started. We can hire people, we can get nurses and physicians and so on, and train these people in holistic healing. Okay. So, but for right now, okay, I know what my body, my mind, my inner self, my inner voice is saying, and I need to listen to it. I need to not ignore it, but it's very difficult. You can trust me on this. This is the most difficult decision that I will have ever made in my entire life. To move into the van and get out. And most people will not be on board or understand it. How I can sabotage my life like this. But the truth is, staying here would be the ultimate sabotage, not just for my life, but for other people's lives and for animals' lives. Okay, because if we can get the therapy center started, we can do all kinds of things for animals and for compassionate people, and eventually for all. Okay, and that's a fact. And I needed to make this video mainly for myself, to really understand it. It helped me now to talk to you about this. It helped me to clarify this situation. Okay? Peace and love for all living beings.